friends, and welcome back to EVE Online with me, Mark from Dadex. And it's finally happened. The mining changes dropped this week, and I've now had time to have a little look around. So we're not going to look at the numbers and the notes, we're going to look at the practical applications. If you do want to catch up with the science, then just go into the launcher, click on news. Once you're on the website, come on website. My internet's been really rubbish the last few days. Where are we? Right here. Now, this latest update is only going to tell us about changes to the Orca and the Rorke wall, because all the changes to the barges, which is what we're going to look at today primarily, are on this link here. I looked at that in the whole last video, so it's all here for you to have a look at if you want to see the data. But we're going to have a look at the ships themselves, starting with the Venture here, which I can quickly tell you has no changes whatsoever. Good. Same with the Prospect and the Endurance, no changes whatsoever. Although wormhole gas harvesting has now become wormhole gas scooping because of the change of the name to the modules, because the barges now fit the harvesters and the little guys get the little old scoops. So before the changes, the Covetor, which is the first one we're going to look at, its yield was 20 cubic meters a second Tech 1 fit, 24 Tech 2 fit, 7,000 cubic meter ore hold, and a tank of 9,400 EHP. So this is exactly the same Covetor fit we've got here. You'll see we've got one empty mid slot because we've got an extra one now. So we'll have a look at that, what we can do with that in a second. Apart from that, it's exactly the same fit. This is the Tech 2 version of the fit. So Tech 2 mining laser upgrades and modulated strip miners with the crystals in. Also of note is that crystals have changed somewhat. We've got Type A crystals. Now, Type A crystals are a slower yield and a lower wastage, which is actually being called residues. That's the name that they've given to the wastage mechanic. But there are variations. There's the Type B crystal, which will mine faster, but will cause more wastage. And most interestingly, there's the Type C crystal, which is actually designed to destroy way more ore than it actually harvests. So it's kind of an offensive weapon. And I have heard a rumour that in the new year it will become something that turns you suspect if you use that in high sec. You can actually use this to go in and wreck other people's resources, basically. It's certainly not something you're going to use when you're actually trying to mine productively. Quite an interesting addition. But anyway, back to the fit. We're not going to touch that mid slot yet. Alright, first we're just going to have a check. Our mining hold is now 9,000 cubic meters, so that's 2,000 cubic meters more. If we have a look at the drones, we've got the same size drone bay, which before carried 2 flights of light drones, whether they're mining drones, ECM drones, fighty drones, whatever. However, now we've got the bandwidth to fly a flight of medium drones if you wanted to. So you can put out 5 medium drones from the Covetor, give you a bit more extra protection. The mining yield is 12.4 a second, which if we times that by 2 is 24.8, which is 0.8 more than it was before. Where this is really going to leap up is where we're getting boosts from the Orca. Now, I am going to look at the Orca in a separate video in a few days' time, and I've had a chance to get my head around it because I've got new modules to look at, etc. there. Right, we've got this mid slot. Now, as it stands, we've already got 13,500 EHP without doing anything with that mid slot. And that's gone up from 9,400 previous to the changes. So we've got much more tank, tiny little bit more yield, and what we got, about a 25% bigger cargo hold. So we're a little bit more self-sufficient and a little bit safer. There's not a huge amount more EHP, and it's certainly not making you gank proof, but you will last longer. So let's have a look at some mid slots. I'm thinking, there's no way we're going to fit a large shield extender in there. We're going to simulate the fit so we get the change on the stats as we hover over stuff. So large, obviously too big. So we can get a compact medium shield extender in there if we did something to save ourselves 9.7 CPU or had 9.7 CPU. We could obviously use a rig slot to give us a little bit extra. If you're not using the Tech 2 mining laser upgrades, etc., this will not be an issue. But if we squeeze that on, we'd have 15,000 EHP, which is more than the Retriever had before the changes. And since I mentioned rigs, you may have looked at the rigs in this fit and thought, what rigs has he got in this barge? And they are in fact a trio of medium cargo hold optimization rigs. Why, you may ask? Because this Covetor hull is so old they were put on it when they mattered, because you simply had a cargo hold on your barge and it could be expanded using means such as that. No separate cargo holds existed, and I think I probably built this barge about 9 years ago. Never felt the need to change it. I haven't lost it yet. And let's just, for a laugh, let's just see, just with no mods or whatever, we're going to stick a flight of medium drones in it, and it's putting out 140 DPS nearly unmodified, so that's quite a bit of self-defense. So yeah, the Covetor has certainly become a little bit more self-sufficient. Certainly not the ideal solo ship though, really, because of the size of the ore hold. But it's got more tank, it's got a slightly improved yield, it can put out more DPS, and it can hold more ore. So that's a win-win-win-win-win. Yeah, right, retriever. We're just going to use a simulated fit for the retriever. And we'll just go for Tech 1. We'll get the same kind of comparative. Again, we've got an empty mid slot because we've got an extra one of those. We're up to 23,500 EHP, which is almost double what it had before. It had 12,800 before. Ore hold capacity, we're going to have to check that over here on the information screen, is up to a whopping 34,375 cubic meters. Now, because of my mining barge skill, I was the higher end of it before, so about 27,000. So we're up to 35,000 almost. Quite a good increase. We've got more tank, we've got more hold. What about the yield? The Tech 1 yield now with strip miner 1s and Tech 1 mining laser upgrades. That's going to give us 16.2 cubic meters a second, whereas before we were at 15. So again, more yield, but not much more yield. But once we get that orca out in the week and get the boosts going on, we'll see what the yields look like then. So again, the retriever, more of everything. Drone bandwidth, again, we can put out a flight of medium drones if we want to defend us. Although, to be honest, I'd probably always carry 2 flights of lights. You've got a little bit more flexibility there. The light drones will take care of most rats unless you're being really intrepid. And the ECM drones might be the ones you want to get if you need to run away. Not much help in high sec if a fleet of cats land on you, but that's what your D scan's for, eh? Right, and last but not least, we have the mighty Procurer. Again, we're just going to look at a simulated fit. My simulated fit is actually my baiting fit. As you will see, just a moment, I'm going to put in, this is our old Procurer fit, which we had in the olden days, those 4 mid slots, 57,000 EHP. It could mine about 14.5 cubic meters with a Tech 1 fit if you wanted to actually use it to mine. Obviously, that is its preferred hobby. But now look, we've lost 2 mid slots, but we've gained a low slot. So what can we do with this now? From the point of view of doing what it's fitted to do here, which is baiting, again, we can now carry 100 cubic meters of drones and fly a flight of mediums, so we can carry 2 flights of medium drones. So with my 2 drone damage amplifiers there, let's just have a look. If we stick some, go for the Caldari Navy Vespers because I like those. 287 DPS, that's with 2 drone damage amplifiers, and we've got more than enough CPU to fit another one on, so quite a good bit of DPS. But we're here to talk about mining really. So give me a minute and I'll sort out a bit of a mining fit. While I'm messing about cobbling together a quick fit, let's talk about this handsome devil here. This is the Scope Stratios skin, this month's giveaway skin. On screen now you're seeing the winners of the 4 battleship skins from the last video. Well done you guys. Leave your comments down below with your in-game name if you'd like a chance of one of these Stratios skins. How are you getting on with your barges? How are the changes impacting you? I think it all looks pretty good for the barge pilots. Comments down below, good luck. Okay, and here's the Procurer that I've come up with. Now this was really simple guys. I've switched the drone damage amplifiers for 2 mining laser upgrades 2, which is all it could fit down the bottom before. And I put in a damage control 2 with 1 medium shield extender 2. That's now 56,377 EHP. So for those people still saying the Procurer's broken, it has no tank, look at that. Now we've still got an empty mid slot. Now you might well want a prop mod or a survey scanner in there for your mining. The ship has slowed down. Without a prop mod, it's now gone from 200 meters a second to 120 meters a second If you want to be mobile on the belts, you might want to prop mod. My preferred method is to use one of the smaller ships to go up and bookmark the belt, and then the barges can just warp to their bookmarks right where they want to be and not have to move around on the belt too much. That's how I do it anyway. So you don't need to use that mid slot for a prop mod because they never need to go anywhere. I've trained the skill up relevant to the mining crystals, so we're getting the proper yield showing here, which is 8.2 meters a second each, which is 16.4 cubic meters a second, which is about the same as it was before, to be honest. But again, the boosts from the Orca is where the real boosting is going to come from. So not much more yield here, about the same amount of tank. Our ore hold has gone up from 12,000 cubic meters to 16,000 cubic meters. So that's very nice. So we can stay out for longer, and we've still got a spare mid slot. If you wanted just to go full tank, you could fit another medium shield extender and get over 60,000 EHP. That's easily. So I'm very happy with the changes to the barges. The Procurer is definitely not broken. It actually gives us a little bit more flexibility in a funny kind of way. But yeah, certainly not broken. Very, very usable. And I'm looking forward to getting out there, both to mine and maybe even do a bit of baiting. Right, my friends, I think we'll leave it there for now. This is a little bit short and sweet, but I've got lots to do. I've got to get that Amar Alpha out making some money. That's quite important. In the new year, I'm going to do a full guide to the barges once I've got my head around it a little bit more. And in the week, we will be getting a video on the Orca changes and seeing how the Orcas and the barges interact after all these changes. And I think that's going to be very good news for the barge pilots indeed. Anyway, my friends, comments down below. Leave us a like, please, if you've liked it, found this interesting and enjoyable. Subscribe if you want to stay in touch. Remember to click that bell so you know when the next video is up. And for now, my friends, fly brave, enjoy your eve, and goodbye.